Okay. Something that grinds my gears. You'll hear, and the media does this quite frequently, especially around election time. And they do it for the effect, because it's a bad look. When they'll come out and say that either this candidate or this politician or this wealthy billionaire guy or celebrity or whatever, they'll come out and say, hey, here's this zillionaire guy that you all know about. He paid no taxes last year, or paid almost no taxes, and pays very little personal income tax. And what they do, and they'll say, we want to see their taxes, kind of thing. What they're trying to do is they want you to show that you're either extremely wealthy, so they can get class warfare going on. You should hate this man because he's rich. Probably did it by exploiting you. Or they want to show that you're not paying enough in taxes. You're a gazillionaire and you're not paying anything in taxes. You're not paying your fair share. Okay? They're going to win either way. Most people do not pay their own taxes. Okay? They pay taxes, but it's taken out of their either their paycheck or their salary or whatever. It's removed for them. Okay? Some even get a little bonus thing at the end of the year, a little tax return for maybe it says they were good or something. So most people have no idea how taxes are paid or how their taxes are paid. They don't feel it because they never saw it to begin with. It was taken out before they got it. Okay? And I think everyone should have to do their own taxes. That way they can feel the pinch, feel the hurt. But the mass majority of people have no idea how their taxes are dealt with. You're self-employed, okay? But most people think, well, if I make this money, then I got to pay so much of this in taxes. Well, unless you have expenses, business expenses, certain places where you might be paying interest, like interest on your commercial property that your business is on, this kind of thing. There's a lot of people, I know a lot of people that have a lot of mortgages, okay, landlords, this kind of thing, who make a lot of money and pay almost no taxes most of the time because their interest stands against their tax liability. Okay, they still make the same income, but they pay out a lot of interest. And so that's something where you say, shouldn't that guy be paying more? He's making all that money. Yeah, but he also pays a lot of interest on the properties. That's just one area. You could have another thing too is you might have this guy, this super wealthy zillionaire guy who pays very little taxes. His business might be paying lots of taxes, but him personally is not. It's two separate things. Yeah, he owns it, or he's the controlling member of it, but he's not taxed personally for what that business is doing. The business is paying all that. And if he keeps his money in his business, he's not being taxed for it, the business is. And the business has a greater opportunity to write all that off, turn it into expenses, working against his tax liability. And that type of thing. So you have someone says, well, how does he get away with it? How does he know that? He pays a qualified accountant or accountants, a firm, to do this for him. You pay a lot of money for this. The tax code, it's several Bibles stacked. These things are so thick. Someone says, well, they find the loopholes. They're not loopholes. This is legal. This is the system. You're given this book of rules. You go work according to these rules, and that's how they find these ways to save money. And the wealthy are good at this because they need to be. Otherwise, they'll lose it all. And people on the lower end will look at, oh, they're just rich getting richer. They would do the same exact thing if they had a clue. If they were wealthy, they would get accountants to keep control of their money and get all this stuff figured out. It's survival. Okay. But it's not illegal. It's not crooked. They're not cheating or anything like this. They just have a good accountant that knows how to work the system. There's all sorts of ways to do this, but if you have this individual, but he's got this big, huge company, his income may be very small. The company might own his house, his cars, his resort thing or whatever, the boat and all that. The company may own all of that. He may not own any of it. He may have a very small income because everything else is already being paid for. It's tied up in the business. See, it pay less taxes if the business owns it compared to him owning it, because it has. That's why you see some of these guys have the company name on everything. Okay, there's ways around. California used to be able to do a lot of it, but not anymore. But the reason I bring this up is when they show you a gazillionaire or a politician, this guy's paid no taxes. Yeah, because he has a qualified accountant that knows the particular industries he is in and how to make that work. Okay. If not, I mean, there's some people get in trouble because they do something stupid or whatever. But especially if you're some big operator that's, $1 million projects and you take a hit, you're not paying any taxes that year. Some business went south or stuff like that, it happens. You have a huge hit. All your money you made, you got a huge hit. So there's a big write-off for that. But really, the media does this because they want class warfare. This guy's way richer than you, and he's exploited you or exploiting the system. So therefore, we need to get rid of him. Don't vote for him. Or he's not paying any tax. Once again, very crooked. Well, if it was crooked, why isn't he locked up? He said some people get in trouble for this, but the ones that use an accountant who did this legitimately, that's just success. Okay, the smart ones know how to do this. I'll give you an example. There's, and I didn't know this going in. I thought if you improved, I take that back. I had a friend that tore all of his fence out and put in a brand new fence. He needed it. Okay, he got to write off the expense of building it, but it improved his property. It's like 25 grand worth of fence. He improved his property so much that he was taxed again because now he's improved his land. See, so the benefit was there, but he actually got taxed for it because he put in a new improvement. Okay, his neighbor left a couple of old posts there and put up almost the same identical fence, but it was a repair. Okay, he repaired his existing fence. Was not taxed, got to write off the expense of it. It was not it was not an improvement. Okay, I'm sure there's a little more complexities there, but how did they know that? Well, one guy had the account, the other guy didn't. Okay, simple as that. Now you could have a bad accountant or whatever the case is, but that's what I pay a lot of money for my account. I'm in 3 separate industries, nothing special, but I'm involved in 3 separate industries. Each has their own pitfalls as far as tax liability and expense write-offs and this kind of stuff. But he knows that. That's why I pay him a lot of money, because he pays for himself every year in the savings, getting everything dialed up the way it's supposed to be. It's not illegal. It's not crooked. It's using the system. If you've been given a game to play and leave your rule book, you're going to read those rules to the best of your advantage. Okay, that's all this is. And people that do a lot of business know this, or they're gone. Okay, so when, like I said, one guy knew about improving, one guy didn't know about improving his property because it was going to increase his taxes, whereas the other guy knew repair. Okay, it's all in how they put this, a few things to make this a repair where this was an improvement. And that they get you on all the time. But when you see someone, they want to talk about someone's taxes or want to show their income, see if they're paying their taxes or whatever, especially if it's a politician. I think most politicians know they better have their stuff in line before they run for something. But I said, that's just either he makes a lot of money and you should hate him, or he didn't pay enough of taxes against his a lot of money and you should hate him for that too. That's the only reason the media does this. It's low-hanging fruit because most people have no idea what I'm talking about. Money's taken out, they never see it, it goes in taxes, and they get a little bonus at the end of the year, and they think it's all nice and special. Goofy. But it's actually a cowardly play for the media to do something like that, but they're cowards anyway. Love you, God bless.